If you want to become financially successful, then there are two things that you need to master. And if you can master these two things, there is nothing that can stop you from achieving your financial goals. What's up everybody, I am Jaspreet Singh from theminorityMindset.com, where money minds rethink rich. Let's jump right into today's video, because when I was younger and I was trying to figure out how to become financially successful, I used to hate it when people would tell me things like the first step to becoming financially successful is having the right mindset, because in my mind, that makes no sense. If I want to be rich, why don't you just tell me how to make money? It costs money to eat and it costs money to feed other people. If you want to take care of yourself and you want to take care of your family and you want to take care of your community, you need money in order to do that. And if you have more money, then you can take better care of yourself, your family, and your community. But the path from broke to rich isn't always so straightforward. I still can't believe I'm one of those people that says this now, but the first step to becoming financially successful and never being broke again is to master your mindset. You can only do what your mind tells you that you're capable of doing. If you tell yourself that you're not capable of making $1 million, I can guarantee you are not going to make $1 million. The first step to doing this is you got to swallow your pride. Because if you want to become financially successful, you got to get into the whatever it takes mindset. My family is from a state in India called Punjab, and when I was a kid one time I was in Punjab, I bought myself this drum called a dhol. It's a traditional Punjabi drum, and people play it at weddings nowadays, but I bought it just because I really liked the drum and I liked the idea of playing it, so I brought it home and I started playing it. After I started to get good at the dhol, then people started asking me to play the dhol at their weddings. Now the interesting thing about this is in the Indian culture, the whole entertainment business, so DJs, dhol players, other kind of entertainers that work at weddings are considered very low class. I started accepting some of the wedding gigs, and now I was working at a lot of weddings and I got to know a lot of the local DJs and I became friends with a lot of the local DJs, and then I started working with a lot of the local DJs. So now I'm working at these weddings, but a lot of people that I knew weren't very happy with the fact that I was playing the drum and working with DJs at weddings. And it wasn't just the people that I knew. A lot of times it was the people that we worked for that felt that because we were working in the entertainment business, we are lower class people. The reality is there are people in this world that believe that if you don't have a certain title or a certain class or a certain profession, that you're not as high of a status as certain other people, and so they treat you as kind of less. I've worked at events where people will come and throw pennies at my face instead of coming up and talking to me and saying, hey, let's get started, just because they felt that they were really high class. Most of the people that I worked with were amazing, but this really required me to swallow my pride and understand why I'm doing this, because I had much bigger ambitions. My goal wasn't to work at weddings for the rest of my life. My goal was to transfer what I'm learning and funnel the money that I'm making into something much bigger. You'll never have to worry about being broke again if you're willing to get your hands dirty and do things that other people might not want to do. I learned a lot by working at weddings when I was in high school, and then I took this knowledge and these networks that I made and I transferred it to college, because then I started a college event planning company. I already knew the DJs, I knew how sound and lighting worked, I knew how event planning worked, and I knew a lot of people. So now I just started hosting college parties, concerts, and shows, even though I was never into partying and I never drank. Again, you gotta be willing to get your hands dirty and do the things that other people aren't willing to do. When I started hosting college parties, I would print 5,000 flyers and make sure that I distributed all 5,000 flyers before an event happened. So I would stand at street corners for hours passing these flyers out so people would hear about my events. Once you swallow your pride and you're willing to do whatever it takes, now you really got to believe in yourself, because you are going to hit hurdles. Nothing goes straight up. You are going to run into obstacles and things are going to go wrong. I don't have the best luck when it comes to starting new ventures, because anytime I start a new venture, I start by failing first. Like when I was starting my event planning company, the very first event that I was hosting, I got into contract to host this party at the certain venue, and I was promoting it for like 3 months. So I've been promoting this event, marketing this event, and then the night before our event happened, the venue that I was in contract with got shut down by the police. And so the day of our first event, I had no place to host it. After I got tired of this event planning business, me and a buddy of mine started reselling phone accessories on the internet. And this was going pretty well, and then we found out that the supplier that we were working with was selling us counterfeit stuff, because we received a letter in the mail with a threat of a $7 million lawsuit because this company claimed that we were unlawfully selling their stuff because the supplier that we were working with was lying to us. After that failed, I got involved with real estate, and I'm still very much involved with real estate today, but I had to jump over a big hurdle to understand how to do real estate the right way because I purchased an investment property that I thought would be a great deal, but it ended up being a nightmare property where I lost a ton of money and where I felt like everything went wrong. I even made a video on YouTube where I talked about this and I walked you through this nightmare deal. So if you want to see that, I will link it for you in the description below. I was working on a new SOC technology that we could license to bigger companies, and somebody was willing to help us get connected to Under Armour, but that's when we found out that we did not get approved for a patent, so licensing the technology kind of just fell down the drain. Now coming to Minority Mindset, when we first started to grow on social media, somebody found a way to hack into our Instagram page when we hit 17,000 followers, and they deleted our page. Once you're able to swallow your pride and you're willing to do whatever it takes, then you gotta have grit, because things are gonna go wrong and you gotta be willing to get back up and keep moving forward. The thing that really helped me get my mindset right and keep my mindset right was just listening to other inspirational people, because when we see other successful people today, we see the tip of the iceberg. We see where they are now, but we don't see what it took to get where they are. One of the stories that inspired me the most was Steve Harvey's rags to riches story. If you have not heard his rags to riches journey, I will link it for you in the description because it is mind-blowing. He lived in his car for 3 years because he had no money, and that was what he was willing to do to get to where he is today. You really just need to start injecting your mind with the right positive energy and the positive thoughts and the inspiration and the motivation. That way you can keep moving every single day. This is back before YouTube became YouTube, but I used to listen to the CD called Blueprint to Success by Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas is a motivational speaker, and he put out this motivational mixtape called The Blueprint to Success, and I would listen to the CD in my car every single day. And it got to the point where I literally memorized every single word in this motivational CD because I just wanted to inject myself with this like positive energy because I wanted to achieve that. There are people less qualified than you and less experienced than you and less skilled than you doing the things that you want to do and achieving the things that you want to achieve just because they believed in themselves while you didn't. Think about it. When you were a kid and people would ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you used to say? Maybe you said something like an astronaut, or a fireman, or a doctor, or an actor, or a singer, or a professional athlete. When you're a kid, you never gave yourself limiting beliefs. You never sat there and thought, oh yeah, it would be nice to be an astronaut, but it's really hard to be an astronaut. Or yeah, I would love to invest in real estate, but that takes a lot of effort and a lot of learning and a lot of capital. You have to go back to that inner kid in you, because all of us have that inner kid in us, and just figure out what you want and then find a way to make it happen. Once you master the mindset, you are willing to swallow your pride and you're willing to do whatever it takes and you believe in yourself, now it's time to master the financial education. Once you master the mindset and the financial education, now you got the tools to become financially successful and nothing can stop you. You just got to implement what you know. Financial education at its core comes down to understanding 3 things: how to spend less money, how to earn more money, and how to invest your money like crazy. This goes hand in hand with having the right mindset, because if your goal is to become wealthy and you have the right mindset, it's very easy to live below your means, because now you're not going to be tempted to buy all the nice clothes and the shiny cars today because you don't have the instant gratification syndrome. You're willing to do whatever it takes. Earning more money becomes easier too, because you're willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. And so you're willing to work harder at your job, you're willing to put in more work on your side hustle, or you're willing to do other things in your business that most people aren't. And investing your money seems like the obvious thing to do because you're in it for the long term. You're not in it to try to make money tomorrow. And so you have no problem sacrificing today's gain for a long-term wealth. The reason why some people can make $200,000 a year and be broke, and other people can make $20,000 a year and become wealthy, is because of your mindset. If you have the right mindset, then you understand what it means to do whatever it takes, and you're willing to live below your means, whatever that is, in order to build that wealth. I've talked about this before when we talked about Henry's on our YouTube channel. Henry is an acronym which stands for High Income Earner Not Rich Yet, and these are people who make 6 figures a year yet are broke just because of how they spend their money. If you don't have the right mindset, more money is not going to fix the problem, because then you're going to fall into the shiny object syndrome, where anytime you see a nice car or anytime you see new clothes, you're just going to want to buy it because you feel like you need to own the stuff. That's why you got to have the right mindset first, and then you need to balance this mindset with the right financial education. That way you can use your money the right way to build your wealth and never be broke again. If you enjoyed this video, here's the video that I think you'll love, and while you're at it, subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our free finance and business newsletter. And as always, keep hustling. Assets are things that put more money in your pocket. These are the things you need to buy if you want to build wealth. Liabilities are things that make you look rich, but they keep you broke.